across branches. npm run dev. And now we will see what this looked like from the beginning to the end. This was the first iteration. We had this permanent sidebar. Honestly, it doesn't look half bad. And as you see, all these heroes' names are just numbers. This is what it looked like. We only had 3 items, and the grids were definitely not. Well, you see what this is. And these numbers, completely fake. I think, probably. That was version 1. So then we go to version 2. Wow, we have names. And whatever the hell is going on over here. Oh, there we go. We have names. Slightly different, still all wrong. Through these versions, we had to rewrite a lot of things in the back end. The data util at this point was only 67 lines long. If you remember what it was before, it was over 400. This project was really started small. So next we go to version 3. And now version 3, we accidentally load in all the non-playable characters like Calico. But we also started having this sidebar aesthetic to it. I originally got all these assets from the Deadlock wiki, so if these look familiar, that's why. See? Oh, one thing you might notice is we don't really use these X's anymore. And there's a utility, right? Some of these items are classified as utility items in the code, which obviously doesn't exist in the game. But nevertheless, since this was processed automatically, this is something I had to like make conditionals for. Obviously, look at these stats; they don't mean anything. But this was a work in progress at around like 4 days in, maybe. Just getting to this point was a lot of work, to be honest. I think around checkpoint 4, as you notice, the names reverted themselves because we started rewriting heavily. My friends started helping me, and we started getting the right icons. I think utilities there are no longer utility items. That's one of the things my friends helped me did. We filtered out the non-in-game items and got them to the right categories. So that means we broke a lot of things. We also filtered out all the non-in-game characters, and the reason why all these characters' names reverted was because we completely replaced the data set we were using. Before, we used this cleaned well, I don't have the link to it. We used this semi cleaned up data that someone on GitHub had, but it was incomplete and obviously out of date. So we started using the vdata files from the source, from the game source. So at about a week in version 4, we started using the source. Version 5. I wonder. I don't think it's very different. Oh, haha. Got rid of the sidebar. and this is where it starts to resemble the current version. This is more refined. Some of the stats are questionable. I don't think they worked. But I added in like a builder. As you can see, this really is not any different from the current builder page. But I added this drag and drop to builder. I don't know where the animations went. This version has animations that the previous version didn't have, which is unfortunate. Maybe we'll re-implement that. The stats for the heroes are mostly defined, but as you see, there's no skills implemented at all. And I think at this, I don't remember if at this point the stats were accurate. It certainly isn't usable because there isn't leveling implemented. So yeah, this is a point in the project where I felt like we were really starting to get there. That's the version 5. 6 we started, let's see, from 6 we had skills. This is what it looked like. Obviously the grid's a little broken, but here we started to have a little bit of a conflict when we split off into branches and different people work on it. We have a different vision on what certain things should look like, and this save and find build kind of got tossed out, honestly. Minor changes. Obviously the skills are there now. I don't know if it's as pretty as the current version is, but it definitely has the same feel to it. Maybe a little scuffed. This is checkpoint 7. This is where we have this, as you see, before it was level 33. This is on the old file. And this is, I believe, my friend did the UI for this portion, so that's why it's a lot more pretty now. I redid the stats bar. It all seems like very minor changes, but even things such as this search bar took time to do. And also making sure that the site looked proper even at half width was important, because honestly most people discovered the site through their phones. So if it looks scuffed on your phone, why would you use it on your computer? Version 8. This is my shilling, give me money type shit. The names are right now. Some changes, not a lot. There's a little bit of bugginess introduced, which is inevitable. I believe at some point it's less about the front end changes. A lot of it was changes and rewrites in the back end, trying to optimize how the workload on our server. And I think in this version we had to really revise our back-end processing and making sure making sure it's not such a mess that we can continue to build, because after a while the project just piles up. You can think of it as like a pile of leaves. When you toss things on the pile, eventually it starts kind of spreading out. You can't just keep piling on the same spot, and it gets really messy. And then whenever we try to introduce new things, as you see this tooltip, it's a little buggy. And in fact, I think this is one of the versions where infinite Yeah, this version was bugged. Infinite processes happening. Infinite re-renders. Infinite re-renders. So this was not one of the best versions. So let's get off that. That was version 8. And we'll load the final version. Oh, shit. Interesting. I don't remember this one. Well, I definitely don't remember this one. I think, we wanted to implement a better navigation system, but frankly, this was not it. We should go to the current version, which is this. I revamped the main page a little, made it a little bit more glass feeling, and revamped the stats to look more like the other bar. I guess the only thing left is to make this look better, and then the aesthetic will be complete. Obviously, there's a ton of unfinished features, really a lot of work to do, but right now, after working on this project for so long, I think I'm ready to just kind of let it go and let people, contribute it as an open source. And maybe it'll get better, maybe it'll get worse. Honestly, the main thing I'm afraid of is people just taking the work and running away with it, claiming it as their own. But whatever. If I want to make it open source, I think that's just one of the facts. People can take it and modify it for the better or worse. So this is the current version, and I will upload only the current version because some of these mistakes, well, they're a little bit much, and I want to keep them to myself. Just as a history. It'll help me remember how this project started and how it got to this place. And I will clone this repository, the final version of it, into a new repository that will be publicly available. So, public. Here's my GitHub desktop. This is the current everything. All that's left is for me to, I guess, check everything over and it'll be public. So I will go over to my GitHub repo. And I will make it public. It's public. Ta-da! So it's out there. Find it. Bye bye.